Sound, everybody. Sound. You need sound when you make a video. It's important that you have sound. And now I have sound. And I'll be back for NFL Chaos with Jeremy. I am Jeremy, and I bring the chaos. I like Hutchinson the best, and I don't think Linderbaum is worth a top 10 pick. Thibodeau slipped, and I am going to grab Thibodeau. The Giants took Khalil Elam. Good for them. Kenyon Green is a guarantee in my mind. He would be such a dream pick right here. Evan Neal is still on the board. I'm not going to pick this now. That 44 pick could be tight end. That 44 pick could be a good linebacker, a good safety. We could drop back one pick and pick up a second rounder from New Orleans. We got options here. Options are such a beautiful thing. You know what would give us more options? What would give us more options is if we sign Laken Tomlinson or Daniels, offensive interior help in the line, so we don't have to feel pressure to take anybody. Or if we sign a marquee free agent, or maybe we sign a linebacker and a safety. But right now, we don't have any of that information. We don't know who we're going to take. We don't know who we're going to sign. So we're going to have to fill the holes as if we would if there wasn't free agency. How you doing, Bryant? We got Kent Freeman, who I don't know, saying that sounds great. Well, that's good. Maybe you're saying that because we didn't have sound before. Thank you, Kent. And if you appear to be new to the channel or new to the chat, you may be old to the channel, but either way, if you haven't subscribed yet, make sure you subscribe. Trying to get to that 1,000. We're a long way away, but you know what? Maybe we won't be if we keep it up. Dark Soldier, what's up, my friend? We have sounds. I'm going to show you that draft I meant to show you before. I was early at 7 in the morning. I was at work early, and I said, oh, let me go on for 15 minutes and show everybody this draft that I had. It was just ridiculous. It blew my mind. And it's horrible that I didn't have sound because Gitmo Bob jumps on right away on the comments and is like, that would never happen in real life. And it was like, Gitmo, if I had sound, you would have heard me say specifically, Gitmo Bob, this will never happen in real life. But I still think it's a cool thing to show because, like, wouldn't this be a dream come true? Thank you, Matthias. Dark Soldier, Brian Sill. Brian Still's always here right in the very beginning to give me greetings. I appreciate that. Yes, I do. I have 309 subscribers now. It's slowly getting up there, man. It is. More important, or like one of the other things that means something is watch hours, and you guys are killing it for me with watch hours because I am over 2,100 watch hours. You basically need 4,000 watch hours and 1,000 subscribers. So they pretty much estimate that tells me that YouTube thinks that if you legitimately have 1,000 subs and just don't have, 100 friends with 10 accounts, and you legitimately build up to 1,000, that's about the amount of time it should take that you, to prove it, have 4,000 watch hours. Well, we're not even 4 months yet, and we're at 2,100 watch hours. And, you're supposed to gain those watch hours when you have 600, 700, 800 people at the end. But you guys are so awesome about hanging around, watching the shows, staying such a long time in the stream, that my watch hours are off the charts. It's a really good sign for the future of the channel. And I owe it all to everyone here that comes to every time I go live, even whether it's announced or not. So I appreciate it. And I will keep giving away cool things because it's my way of giving back. Because, I do this for the love of doing it. You all know, most of you know, I'm an assistant principal at a school. I have a career that takes care of my financial life. The majority of this effort is just a love affair. It's like my hobby, my passion. Talk about the Jets. It feels so cool when people come on and we talk together about the Jets. I love having guests. It's really just, a project of love. So and I'm not going to lie, the subscriptions, man, like having more people in the stream, it's just really cool. It just makes it that much more exciting and just more of a rush. So I appreciate everybody. I appreciate you, Owen. Thanks for always being here, man. You think that Watson's going to get traded soon? That's an interesting thing. We'll definitely talk about it when it happens. I just, I hope it doesn't go to. I hope it doesn't go to Miami. I hope it doesn't go to Miami. Came over from live. You was on Green Bean Monday before last, I think it was. Okay. Yep. Green Bean is my mentor. He's like I pray to the gods of Green Bean. Let's just put it that way. He got me started. And man, I always tell everybody here. Most people come from Green Bean Channel. If I don't, I beg them to join Green Bean Channel, join his Patreon, support this man because he's the best thing on YouTube. And the only way he's going to be able to maintain and raise his family and do YouTube is with our support. So that comes above all else for me. It's a good friend of mine. He's helped make this happen for me. And like, even if I stayed at 309 and just did it with 309 subs and you guys in the chat, I would do it forever. As much as I want more, it's not like I'd give up and say I failed because I'm already having a great time. But one of my big passions also in doing this is I want this channel to benefit Green Bean, just like he gave this as a gift to me, my ability to be on here and chat with you guys. He taught me the ropes, got me started, got my name out there. And what I want to give back to him and I think we all should want to give back to him is to allow him to do what he does. And he can only do that if we're supporting his channel. If we're all going over there and if like do his Patreon, whatever it takes. But this is, he's going for it, man. This is how he's feeding his family. So keep the love, keep the support to Green Bean. Hey, Payout Time, what's up? I'm going to see you later. One of the things I wanted to do is make sure I got on here because I might not be on later tonight because normally I'd be on later on Friday, but I'm going to be on with Payout Time on. We're doing a Rams draft. I don't know if we're drafting Jets the way you described it. I know you said help you draft Rams, which is fine. I don't know if you're gonna hit Jets on the simulator also. We'll see. I'm open either way. I'm looking forward to it. Payout Time is another guy who befriended me very early on in this process. I was fortunate enough to meet him through our good friend John Post, the postman from Pure Adrenaline Sports. And Payout Time has been nothing but supportive. And I will always be his YouTube friend and always be loyal to him as well and value his friendship. He's also a great, awesome person, and it's like flattering and an honor to be his friend. There's a night you asked about Spock. Yes, and Spock is still here. Spock is still here. One day we will get to those. This stream will hit 50. And when I hit 50 people watching on this stream, we will give this Spock away. Right at that moment, you never know when it's going to happen. So hit your notification button so you know when I'm on, because one day it's going to hit 50. And you never know when that day will be. I think on the Wednesday show, the Wacky Wednesday show, we were up to 31 at one point. 31. And we're getting there, man. There was a time where I was going crazy and doing jumping jacks if I broke 10. I think the first Wacky Wednesday show, we got up to 8 or 9, and I was psyched. I was like, oh my God, first show, 8 or 9 people. So we're getting there. We're working our way up. I am the hardest working man. I'm like the, what's his name? Living in America, that guy. I'm like drawing a blank. I'm that guy of YouTube, the hardest working man in the biz. Who is that? How am I drawing a blank? Famous pop singer guy. Living in America. That guy. Who am I talking about? Why am I drawing a blank? Gitmo Bob. Jeez, Jeremy, I put my phone down for 5 minutes and you pop on. Glad to hear sound after this afternoon mock. Yes, one of the things I was saying, Gitmo, is, and that you couldn't hear me, but if you could read lips, is I was actually saying, hey, Gitmo, I literally said this, quote, hey, Gitmo, I know this draft would never happen. I know it's impossible for it to happen. I know when I made the decision to trade the number 10 pick and forego Sauce Gardner and Aquano for those picks, it was going to be a very unpopular decision, but I was just messing around and I wanted to see who would be available. And I did think it was really funny when Aquano was there because I said, my God, if this happened in real life, I'm the greatest GM in history. But let's see. I doubt he'll go to Miami now that Flores is gone. Yeah, that's what I'm hoping. I would not want to see him in Miami. If he stays in the FC, it will be ridiculous. I see Carolina going hard for him, and the Colts. The only, yeah. Well, I mean, the Colts would be a great place for him. They picked up that extra draft capital. Maybe that's part of it, right? Maybe they just need as much capital as possible, and they're going to throw it all. They're going to throw it all that way. I don't know. And Carolina, it's just they're going to have to throw in a lot of players because I don't know if they have a ton of picks. So they'll have to give away next year's tons of picks, and they'll have to give a lot. But the defense is there; it's in place. If they can maintain that defense, again, the question is when is Deshaun Watson going to play, right? So I'm interested to see where Watson and Fletcher Cox go as far as trades go. Yeah, it's interesting. It's going to be an incredible, one of the most exciting off seasons, man. And then at the same time, if you're a baseball fan, there's so many baseball free agents in the Major League Baseball right now. It's going to be exploding now. There's probably signings that happened today. I was at work and I don't even know about it because there's all these free agents in baseball, and spring training is going to start immediately. So you're going to see there's going to be a lot of sports news. It's going to be really exciting. Oh, we are doing Jets and Rams just for sure. I just realized I didn't promo the well. My bad. No worries, man. No worries. I'm looking forward to it. Did you mail Vader? I did. Vader is in the mail. I sent it regular U.S. postal in one of those kind of all-you-can-eat envelopes. You stuff it in, but I did it. It's like one of those bubble wrap kind of envelopes from U.S. Postal Mail. I went into my local supermarket that has a little post office station, and I addressed it and I gave it to them, and they said, they weigh it and they don't have to weigh it. They ring me up and they put the postage information on it and send it. So I would expect it to be there. I sent it on, what night was I there? I think I was there on Sunday. Then I went into the store and gave it to them. So it was probably picked up on Monday, Friday. I would have hoped it was there already, to be honest. I would have hoped it was there already. Hopefully tomorrow by Saturday, or I don't know if you get those kind of packages still at this point of the day, but look for it now, or I would say tomorrow. If we don't see it on Monday, I'm going to start to get nervous. I hope that better not happen because I told my wife on Sunday it was one of the big errands I had to run. I said I don't want to start my work week without sending out that Vader. So it is on the way. Damn, I should have done a tracking thing. But I'm going to trust the U.S. Postal Service that it's going to happen. And please confirm when you get it. I'd be so pissed if you didn't get it. Are you giving up a third for Cooper? I don't know if I want to pay Cooper. I think Cooper's $20 million. I'm not feeling it. He's not a $20 million receiver. He just isn't. I don't even know if he was a free agent. I don't want him for $20 million. I don't want him for free. I don't want him for $20 million. Even if they said, if Dallas said take him, he's owed $20 million. I don't want him. I honestly don't want him. I mean, if he negotiates a contract with us that's very friendly, then sure. A few years, get him, finish up his career with the Jets. He still has some gas in the tank, possibly, but he's not a true number one receiver in my book. And maybe people think I'm crazy for saying that. I'm a fantasy guy, and like Cooper was like he has very big games, and then he disappears. I want a guy like look. I mean, everybody wants a guy like Cooper Kupp, but I mean, I think the thing about Cooper Kupp that you have to look for, whether it's at that level or not, is consistency. Cooper Kupp came to play every week. No off weeks for Cooper Kupp. Al Toon, remember? Those of you remember Al Toon. Every week. Every week. There are just guys that show up every week, man. They're making an impact on the game every week. And I don't see Cooper as that kind of guy. I see him as a good weapon. $20 million? No. I see him as a $12 to $13 million guy. Honestly, that's my opinion. People might not be popular. People might not agree with that. I see him in the same category as a Corey Davis, the guy the Giants signed or whatever, even though he didn't score a touchdown. But I see him in that class of free agent. I do. I don't think he has any ceiling to be better than he's been. I think he's had a couple of good years, but I don't think he's been like a superstar dream wide receiver you pay $20 million for. Asman has watched going almost every team that needs a quarterback. I don't think the Texans are going to get as much as people think because his legal issues. I agree. Yeah, if since this has started, people are ignoring the fact he did not play last year. He is still fighting this. The charges against him are not a joke, guys. They're not a joke. There's like 20 plus women accusing him of things. Um, and there's no settlement here. Like this is just going to happen. This is going to play out. And I don't know how much evidence there is. There's not a lot getting out about how much evidence there is, but for it to be taking this long, it feels to me like they're going through evidence, that they're building up a real case. This is going to be a real trial. And then you got to say on top of that, Gitmo, even if he comes back or whatever, you got to think about character. This is your quarterback. It's your leader. This is about character. Even if he did nothing wrong, even if it's the worst, the best case scenario, and he was literally, and let's be honest, he wasn't calling for massages. Let's say the best case scenario is he was calling from the underground and calling prostitutes that advertise under masseuse or massage, right? Let's say that these women are now realizing who he is and jumping on board, and this is all fabricated. And the worst thing he did was solicitation, that he was paying these women for sex. Now they're saying they're just massage, or he got a massage therapist mixed into that and didn't, and offended her because she wasn't what he thought she was. Whatever. Best case scenario, right? That's the best case scenario I can think of for him. Because, we're not stupid in the world. When you call a stranger to come to your house for a massage, when you see those ads, we all know what that really means. Okay, unless they're certified, credentialed, but they usually don't advertise like that because they don't want to go to a place and the person expects them to be a prostitute. Okay, so it's a character thing. It's a character thing. A guy like that doesn't need to pay prostitutes, right? So what was he really doing? It's about control. It's about power. There is a character issue. I'm sorry. Why would you want that? I know he's super talented, but you're talking about the leader of your franchise. I'm glad that we have a guy like Joe Douglas that I don't believe would consider it. And I'm happy about that. I want to build a team. I don't want to feel bad about the guy that's leading my team. I don't want to worry about who he really is as a person. Honestly, I know some people say, okay, I just want to win. No. I want to like the players. I'm a fan of the players on my team. I want to like them. I don't want them to be people that are abusive or gross or just poor character. I don't want it. And I don't know. That's his best case scenario. Maybe he really was abusing these women or like harassing these women, and it's just not okay. Not in my book. It's just my opinion. I don't want to root for somebody who harasses women. Sorry. That's me. I was going to be on Green Bean's channel. Yeah, I know most people did, man. I know. That's why I'll always be like appreciative to Green Bean. Like V-Man, most of you guys, nobody would know who I was if it wasn't for Green Bean, for Green Bean. So, the criminal charges are dropped, civil charges teams care less about. Yeah, well, that's true. Teams definitely care less because the criminal charges are scary. But if he settles in the civil charges or there's evidence there, or if he's guilty there and owes money, the NFL will come down on him. That's for sure. And we don't know when it's going to be resolved. Eagles don't want the Giants to get the chance of getting Tibbs, so they may trade for and take Tibbs. We get and more assets, and we end up drafting Hamilton and Sauce at 10 and get JJ at 15. Yeah, could happen. I think that's a move we make, right? If somebody wants to throw two first rounders at us, and we get a total of 3 first rounders, it's a move we might take, But Gitmo will make a point that we need blue chip players, so it's whether we believe in those first 18 picks. Are we going to get 3? At least 2 of those 3 going to be confidently blue chip type players because we have to add stars. This team eventually, at some point, is going to have superstars, right? Because Super Bowl teams usually don't contain just good players. They have some great players. So we're going to need that. I think we got a couple on the roster already, but they're kids and they're learning. So, they haven't shown it yet. They haven't hit their ceiling. My big, I think that Elijah Moore is going to be much. I think people are sleeping on him. As much as people like him, I still say people are sleeping on Elijah Moore. And I'm not being a homer. I just love the kid. I'm a big believer in this kid. I think Michael Carter might rise to be a very special running back if he can stay healthy. So that's a big question too. He's got to stay healthy. But I think we're adding stars. I think we're getting stars. I think Michael Carter II for slot corner might work his way top 3 in the league eventually. Potentially. This is all potential. They still have a long way to go to make that happen. And this is the last year for Quinton Williams. If he doesn't establish himself as a top 3, 4 defensive tackle in the NFL this year, it's done in my mind. This is year 4. It's not. There's no magic to it. So this is going to have to be a big, huge step up year for him. I think that the excuses will be gone because Carl Lawson will be here, and we'll get an edge hopefully, and there'll be no more excuses. So it's got to be his year. What's up, Mark Reese? Good to see you. Thanks for coming, man. I appreciate it. My friend Dom C is here. He's saying as long as Watson doesn't go to Miami, I don't care where he ends up. I agree with that. That's pretty much my feelings as well. Just a suggestion, collaboration with Frankie from Labfresh. I think you get more subs that way. I did a. It's so funny that you should say collaboration with Frankie. I got my start on Green Bean. The next step was me and Frankie talked in the chat, and he told me he had a channel, and I looked at his channel, and there were 4 subs, but there were like 12 videos or 15 videos, and I loved them. I watched almost every one. And I went back into the chat and said, Frankie, let's do a show together. I said, because I was afraid, and I was like, I don't know if I could do this. And I was like, but do you want to try it? We said, yeah, let's just do it for fun. And Frankie got StreamYard set up, and his chat, and I went nuts, getting my friends, my brothers to, to subscribe. And then I went nuts on Green Bean because, every once in a while I text Green Bean directly, and I said to Green Bean, I go, and he knew Frankie had a channel, but it was kind of like, like a lot of people, have channels. But like I said to him, I said, did you watch his videos? Did you really watch them? This guy is serious. He's really, really good. And Green Bean started watching. And then when we did the show, he was watching, and Green Bean started pushing his channel pretty hard. And one thing led to another. And then he did some great videos that, like he did a Justin Fields video, he started to get exposure, and the channel took off. He helped me get a lot of people too. So I say Green Bean, he started it, but I built a brand, I guess. I built my chaos brand on his show because our show was calmness and chaos, right? Being that Frankie was the calmness and I was the chaos. So it's interesting you said that. Frankie's really busy, I think. Either that or he's just, I don't know, maybe he doesn't like me anymore. Because I've tried. I said to Frankie once, I invited him on as a Wednesday guest, and I'm not saying I think he's being truthful. If you look at his content and you look at Frankie's videos, there's hours of effort being put into that, right? Frankie's not going live like I am with no preparation, because you guys, I just go on. Hey, here I am. Let's talk. That's just me. That's how I do it. Sometimes I prep a little, but like for certain shows, but like nowhere near as much as Frankie, right? Frankie is it's like, it truly is a studio. It's not just hanging a banner up, right? He's working his tail off. So he just doesn't have like the extra time. But when he is ready, like if he has videos and he has the extra time, I put the olive branch out, not really olive branch, because I never felt there was anything that would record, not really an olive branch, because that implies there was a fight, which there wasn't. I extended an offer for us to help each other's channels, not even help each other's channels. I just said, dude, I lost my guest last second. Will you come on and be a guest? And people really like us, like, because we were popular. Like people liked the show. And he was busy. He was editing a video and he couldn't do it. So then I said, well, I don't want to harass the guy and like always be chasing him to be on the channel with me. If he wants to, then the move is his. It's like I went in chess. It's his move. And if he come on my show, I think he knows I made it pretty obvious that he's always welcome. So if he wants to come on, he's welcome. I'd love to do the reunion. We make a good team. I think we balance each other out in a way. We both bring something different, and he's always welcome on the channel. So I like the suggestion. Like if you didn't know or watch any of those shows, that's really good insight, Yeah. So we should collaborate. I hope to. Birch jumps 3 inches higher at his payday. I'm wondering if he was injured. On his pro day. Oh, It's possible. It's possible. Sometimes we have a bad day. I'm not worried about Burks. I mean, he's good. Like I don't read too much into stuff like that. He's gonna be fine. Yeah. So that's the popular thing is Flores is gone. So no Watson. Let me block this user. I gotta make sure I'm not blocking Owen. Hold on 1 second. Oh, I don't want to click on this guy. So so what do I click on to get off of Owen? So I make sure I'm not blocking Owen. Hold on. I'm trying to block this user. Please don't block Owen. Okay, I didn't block Owen. There will be no criminal charges. Okay. Civil. Okay. So he's probably going to be fine. Michael. I don't recognize that name either. He says he also might fit the Avell. All right. Hey, Michael, sub to the channel if you haven't subbed. Welcome. Thanks for coming. Appreciate it. Sub. Do me a favor. Help me out. It's the easiest request in the world, man. Just got to click a button. All right. You have to look at my ugly mug sometimes. What can I tell you? Wesley Walker, the one-eyed wonder. Man, I love Wesley Walker. Don't even get me started. That was my first favorite player. I mean, I love Gastineau and Klecko, but like on the offense, I loved Wesley Walker when I was a kid. Loved him. Then Al Toon came along, and man, we had some great players. I don't care what people say. We have a great history. You didn't get an alert? Well, you're here now. I'm going to be on Payo time pretty soon, at like 4 o'clock. Payo time, Payo time. He is an LA Rams content provider. He's a friend of John Post, Pure General Fantasy Sports. He's a great friend of mine, and he is an awesome content provider. It's fun to collaborate with him. He was on my show a few weeks ago, and we talked about the infamous game where the Jets beat the Rams, and we argued over who was more upset. He had his pro day already, Joe. Okay, I'm surprised he had his pro day. I didn't know that either, so that's interesting. But hey, I think is that Joe Campione? Joe Campione is in the house. He said he looked phenomenal. He didn't run a 40, but he said he's never been caught. Okay. Never been clocked. I don't know. What's a very joke? Consider Hamilton and Sauce the blue chip players, and Jermaine could be for sure. Yeah. I think Hamilton and Sauce definitely could be blue chip. I know people have trouble with Hamilton's position, but I haven't heard many people claim that Hamilton's not going to be a great player and one of the best at his position. I believe Sauce as well. I mean, that's another. Hey, kudos to Frankie. I want you to know Frankie from Flatbush was all over Sauce before anybody I know. Anybody. This was way back already that Frankie from Flatbush was saying Sauce Gardner. So I learned about Sauce Gardner from Frankie. I didn't want to admit it at the time. I was sitting there at the show with him. I was like, yeah, Sauce, that would be good. And then like afterwards I ran and I looked it up. I go, who the hell is Sauce? And it took me so long to figure out it was Ahmed Gardner. And then I looked at his tape and I said, holy cow, guy's amazing. Yeah, I agree. And a lot of people have given up on Becton, Joe, and it makes me crazy. Guy rolls on his knee and hurts him, his own player. I mean, give me a break. Just ridiculous. Of course, Becton's going to come back. He's going to be fine. Have a subscription. Good to have some chat that is halfway reasonable time for UK. Oh, yeah, man. Hey, I'm part of the UK gang, on Facebook and everything. And I did a show with Green Bean on a Saturday. We used to try to do the worldwide show on Saturdays, and it just didn't get the support. It didn't get the traction it needed, so we had to stop doing it. But yeah, I jump on anytime. So I'm gonna try to do that, man. Look for me on Saturdays. I try to go on early. I try to make it that because we have a lot of people from different places. There's a lot of Jet fans out in UK, and it's always interesting to talk and hear the thoughts of. Man, I love the UK Jets fans and the ones from Ireland and just the European Jets fans in general. It's just awesome. And we love that you guys are there across the pond. We appreciate that you love the Jets as much as we do. And I appreciate the support. Thank you. And I'll try to put as much content out as I can in hours that are reasonable for you. Don't forget the MCs, Joe. Man, we're never going to get to a draft at this rate, are we? But you know what? I'm going to go with the flow. You guys are chatting away. Let's just chat away. Frankie from Pittsburgh. May he be so busy because he doesn't know where he is. Well, he grew up on Flatbush. Me and Frankie, I think, are similar enough in age. Oh, we confirmed the years. We used to go to the same place on Flatbush, the same bars, in the same time period. So there's a chance we cross paths. And we both went to the same pizza place. There's a famous pizza place right near all the bars on Flatbush called what was it? Was it Lenny and John's? And he didn't like him. He liked the pizza there. And to me and my friends in that world, they were famous for their rice balls. You get the rice balls and they put the marinara sauce on top. Oh, pure heaven. Yeah. Hey, man, I had a great time on your show. Everybody, Pure Adrenaline Fantasy Sports, definitely worth a watch. It's good stuff. If you play fantasy, I mean, I find it, good art, either way, but it's really, really good. John's show, it's really a great show, specifically if you play fantasy football. It doesn't make sense. You don't have to be on your own to like making roster decisions when you have, John has like all the stats, rankings, ratings for the week. It's really good stuff. I'm looking forward to playing fantasy this next season, specifically because I know John and Sean now from Pure Adrenaline, because I feel like I'm going to have access and I'll be able to make better decisions. So definitely give his channel a look. You guys will like it. He's a great guy, good friend. And yeah, man. Conor McDermott is a horrible resigning. He gets Jets people hurt. I think everybody is making the same mistake, Joe. I saw you say this before, and in all due respect, I think you're talking about Greg Van Roten. Greg Van Roten. He's the one that got pushed onto Becton's leg. He's the one that gave up the sack that got Zach Wilson's knee hurt. He's the one that got Michael White's wrist hurt. That was all Greg Van Roten. It was not Conor McDermott. Conor McDermott barely played. Conor McDermott is a backup. He came in at the end of the year because our entire offensive line was out, right? Like so much of our line was out because of COVID and everything. And he filled in fine. He actually did. Our offensive line played okay. We almost beat Tampa. We beat Jacksonville. And Conor McDermott got the touchdown pass. So I think you're talking about Greg Van Roten, GVR, who was replaced by LDT and wasn't playing at all until the end as well, until I think because of injuries. But I think you're making that mistake unless I'm wrong and Conor McDermott got somebody hurt that I didn't know about. So that's why I don't think it's a horrible re-signing. GVR would have been a horrible re-signing because we would have had to pay him. His contract was basically over $3 million, and he's horrendous. Whereas Conor McDermott, I think, costs us $1 million. He's the minimum. So he's just a backup guy who apparently who could play a little tight end. Rest in peace, Super Bowl III champion. University came to come. Oh, that sucks. He actually came to your events. Oh, that's a bummer. That's a bummer. Yeah, R.I.P. Jim Richards. It's sad. What is this? This is way too early for your Friday night show. It's because I'm going to be on payout time, Iowan. So and I might join again later tonight. I don't know if my wife will let me though. So I just wanted to get a Friday show in. Hamilton 10 would be great, and then I'll have him back and with pressure and insurance would be really scary. Yeah, look, there's nothing wrong with Hamilton, man. I'm the guy that's the neutral about everyone. There are people who get angry. Oh, Hamilton, no, that would be the worst pick. There are people who really want him, and I'm just neutral. If we end up with Aquano and Hamilton, if we end up with Thibodeau and Gardner, I'm okay with all of it. Just give me good players. Just as long as they're good players, man. That's all I care about. Really, that's all I care about. If they took Kevin Green or something, I would believe, I said, maybe they see something. I haven't watched the guy. Maybe, if they looked excited and they're going crazy saying he's going to be the next, Pro Bowl guard or whatever, then fine. I'm going to trust these guys. There's great players. We're in a great position to get much better. And I'm going to be happy with whatever we do as long as we get better. If they take a defensive tackle, what's his name, Sam Jones or whatever, one of those two top picks, that's the one thing that will piss me off to no end. Everything else I could live with. Even Lindenbaum, even Stingley. I could live with that too. I'd be nervous with Stingley, nervous and saying, oh my God, doesn't he know who we are? We're the Jets. He's going to get hurt. He's not going to pan out because we're the Jets. D. Milner, the whole thing, yeah. But I'm not going to be pissed. I'm just going to be nervous and just hope that our concerns are for nothing and he's going to be the best corner. But at this point, I think everybody knows that Gardner's the right pick. Aiden Tobin. If I'm a Jets fan, I'm worried about really hard mock because what my Jags are doing. I want to keep building on O line and love Hutchinson, and we're impressed by Tibbs. I think that the fact that you tagged your tackle, I'm forgetting his name. What is it, Harrison or something? You tagged your tackle, which was an indicator to the rest of football that you're probably going to take Hutch, possibly Tibbs, but it looks like you're going to go ends unless you're protecting the tackle and you're going to take another tackle and really build the wall for Trevor Lawrence. You guys are like us. You really can't go that wrong. You guys have a lot of options that would all be okay at this point because you did tag the tackle. I think that you should take another tackle. I do. I think you should take Neal or Aquano because I think that you should just really be focused on Trevor Lawrence before you don't want to fuddle around for a few years and then he starts to finally wake up in year 4 and now you got to worry about tagging him and contract issues. Like you got to build around him right away and get him successful, get some success in that, down there in Jacksonville so the guy wants to stay, right? You don't want to give him any reason to want to leave. And if they don't give him the right protection and weapons, and he's getting his butt kicked and he's on the ground half the time, he might want to get out of there. Trust me. It happens. So either way, though, I don't think that they could mess this up. Like, I think if they take Tibbs or Hutch, that's okay. If they take a tackle, that's okay. I don't think they should take Hamilton. That would be a mistake. But I think they're in pretty good. And if they trade out, they're okay. If somebody gives them ridiculous, like Carolina, or someone does something crazy and offers them the world, and they stay in the top 10, I think that's okay. Maybe you guys decide that a great draft haul, like more picks for this year and next year, is worth going from Neal down to Cross, and you take Cross at tackle as an example, or Jermaine Johnson as edge instead of Thibodeau or Hutch. But on top of that, tons of draft picks and a huge draft haul for a team that has a lot of holes. Wouldn't be a bad move. So I think there's a lot you can do in Jacksonville. Anything better than last year, dude. The Etienne pick was just disgusting. So you're only going to go up from that pick. You can only get better. You can't go backwards. Tom Bon Jovi was here. Wait a second. Where is he? There he is. What's up? Yeah, it's great to hear me. I got rid of that video with the no sound. Screw that. I'm going to leave it up. It already had 18 freaking watches already. Like right by the time I could even get to a phone to take it down. So that was a little bit of a regret. Finally do a video that's getting some views right away, and I have to take it down because there's no sound. So I bet if I looked at the average view time, it was like 30 seconds. People probably said, this guy's got no sound. Watts2K is here. What's up, brother? I'm going to Payo time in like a half an hour, so that's the only reason I'm on so early because I just wanted to do a show. I think these algorithm things with YouTube, like you don't want to be inconsistent. So I've been doing Friday shows since I've started the channel, so I wanted to get it in. I might be back later tonight afterwards, which will be kind of fun to do the show at Payo, and then come back. But I wasn't sure. It depends on my wife if she has work tonight. If my wife doesn't have any work to do tonight, she's going to expect me to be there to watch a movie or something. So yeah, I still gotta be a husband. Hamilton replacing Riley is a major upgrade. Yeah, I prefer that over Gardner replacing Eccles or Hall. Okay, that's a reasonable take. And don't forget, Eccles has a lot of upside. Everybody's just deciding what Eccles is for after his rookie year. It's like you cannot pretend you know how good or what the ceiling of a cornerback is from their rookie year. And for a rookie, he did a lot better than anyone expected him to do. What's up? So Iowan is here still. I love Iowan. Now that I know him in real life, I get to see him on Zoom on Green Beans Patreon. You can know him too. It's weird because I could imagine him sitting there on that couch in Iowa talking about tight ends and how they can block and they're big and strong. I just did a Southern accent. That's not the accent he has. I don't know how to do an Iowan accent. I know we have a lot of holes, but we're also winning a Super Bowl this year. Trying to win a Super Bowl. Why not go after the best player in the draft at a position of need and trade up for Hutchinson, true impact player? I agree that you try to win a Super Bowl every year, but I don't know if the plan that they have in place and what they're trying to do. And I'm not saying that you're wrong. I'm saying I'm trying to say what I think JD is doing, what Joe Douglas is doing. I don't think he's doing the all out blitz that we have to win the Super Bowl this year. I mean, he'd love for it to just magically happen, right? Like in the process, everything works out so well we can compete and win a Super Bowl. But I think he's making moves um, in a way to build the team the right way. And sometimes the right way to build a team for the long term is not always getting the best player and being the best team you could do today or tomorrow, but it's kind of like building up slowly. Like, for example, we can invest everything right now, go for, throw all our money into the biggest name free agent, be locked into a huge contract. And if it doesn't work out, right, we have no money or flexibility to get better. And then, yeah, we're a better team, and now we're winning 10 games, let's say, but we can't get better than that. Whereas I think he's trying to build in a healthy way to be a long-term, sustaining, competitive team. And that's just the way I think he's thinking of it. And I think that thought process doesn't necessarily mean trading draft capital and getting the biggest player. I think he's at the phase of this team where he's trying to build depth and build a strong roster. And then when you have that strong foundation of really good players, hopefully some stars sprinkled in from these draft picks, but when you have that foundation of whoever's going to be a star, whether it's Elijah Moore or Becton, Quinnen Williams steps up, Michael Carter, whatever it is, I think the plan around that is to build up the other rooms. And then at the end of the day, whether it's next year or the year after that, when you have this strong roster of players and young draft picks, then you make the big splash, right? Then you make those big moves. I think that's what he's doing. I'm not saying it's better that you're wrong. I'm just saying I think that's how it feels of what JD is doing. And I can give you a lot of examples of great organizations who win a lot of games that don't make a big splash. And like that would be Baltimore and Pittsburgh and even the Rams didn't make the big splash until the end, right? They added those big names on at the end when they built the foundation. People don't realize that. The Rams have more players on their roster from the draft that they've built. They've built more organically than any team in the NFL. People don't know that, right? Because they sprinkled on some great players at the end to get over the hump. But they built a big, huge foundation, a strong foundation on homegrown players, right? Because you could name some stars in the Rams and you never even heard of the rest of the guys. All those guys are third, fourth, fifth, sixth round draft picks that make up the entire foundation of that team. And then you sprinkle on Cooper Kupp, right? We got OBJ, we got Von Miller, we traded for Stafford, and you're throwing that on top of this strong foundation that they built. So I don't know. I don't know when we make the big splash, when we make the big move. I'm not sure. We might. Let's see how free agency goes. We're going to know next week. Maybe we're going to sign some huge name. We'll see. We're worried about drafting Hamilton because of his position. Fans have PTSD from prior, but we can finally be okay drafting the best player for a team. Yeah, I mean, look, we do have PTSD. We make rules for ourselves. We can never do that again. Milner, you can't take a guy who's been injured. Milner, you can't take Hamilton, Jamal Adams, Pryor, what have you. But every player is different. I mean, the bottom line is if Hamilton pans out, and let me tell you something. Physically, as a physical specimen, he's more impressive than Ed Reed. He's more impressive than Pamalamalo. I can't say his name, Troy. He's more impressive than them. But those are the best safeties ever, right? Ronnie Lott and Ed Reed and Troy. Those are the great ones, right? And I'm not saying he will, because you could never predict something like that, to be that good, to be that elite. But if he got to that level of those guys, there's no looking back and saying it was a bad pick, even if you pick him 1 in the draft. I mean, that is a once in 20 years of a fan to get a player. We're talking Hall of Fame, top 5 ever in the history of football in a position. If he was to reach that level, regret that pick. No way. But we don't know he's going to reach that level, right? We don't know 100%. What we do know is he seems to be, based on a lot of people who are watching, the strongest chance of that as anyone in the draft. So I don't know, man. We're going to see what Joe Douglas does. So I have a friend who's a Giants fan. He wants his team to trade for Becton. I don't believe there is any real info behind it, just wishful thinking on his part. Yeah, it would be hard to imagine unless they overpaid. Think about what the Giants would have to give us for Becton. You know, if they offered us one of their first round picks, we might do that. I mean that would make it really easy to replace him. I mean, if they gave us one of those first round picks and then we had the 4, the 7, or the 4, the 5, like if we had the 4, the 7, and the 10, I think we could address and replace Becton. But and then we gain back the 2 years as far as like on the cheap. But I don't see why the Giants would do that. Wouldn't they just rather pick Cross or Icky or Neal if one of those guys slip? Like, it doesn't seem to make any sense to me why they would do it. And I don't see us trading Becton for anything less, honestly. Connor McDermott is a good depth piece to get in the back for cheap. No, there's no question. I think people are confusing him for GVR. I think that's the problem. I don't know what he's saying. Okay, I don't know. 1 second. Does that mean there's no J. Cole tonight? I don't know. He's not here, but he's not coming on the show tonight. Like that's got to be a planned thing that people can, prepare for. 2 of the top 5 teams need everything. Yeah, it's true. It's true. Well, the Jets don't need a quarterback, and the Jaguars don't need a quarterback. So at least we have our quarterbacks, right? No one could say we need quarterbacks. J. Cole can't be here. He'd have blown it up already tonight. Okay, so Stingley, number 1 quarterback. Yes, I stand by it. And you know what? It's not a horrible thing to stand by. Right now, you a lot of people jump all over you for it, Dom. But the reality is, in 3 or 4 years from now, you could be the one just pounding everybody else and saying, "I told you," idiots. Because Stingley, man, if he gets back from that surgery and he's completely healthy, and he stays healthy, there's no question he could be the best cornerback in the NFL in a few years. So. One thing I'm surprised about is people aren't taking more about. Do people not consider that Thibs acted like that at the combine because he was guaranteed to go at 1? Just a thought. I think partly there's definitely a good chance that one of the teams or a couple of the teams told him, "We're picking you. You can go home." The other have to consider is that what he said wasn't really as bad as people are making it out to be. He said, "I didn't go to Alabama," even though because it's all about winning championships with them, right? And he said, what did he say? He said, I picked Oregon, right? And what was his reason? His reason was because I wasn't just thinking, oh, I just have to win a national championship. I was thinking I wanted to go to a better school because we all know, it's a much better school academically, reputation with corporations, companies, connections. And people were acting like, well, he doesn't care about the team. He doesn't only care about football. Well, do you know his life? Do you know where he grew up? Do you know how he grew up? I don't. I'm not saying I do. But do you? Maybe that's an important thing to him is to get a good education. Maybe he's seen people hurt get a major injury when they're young and then have nothing. Maybe it's okay for him to think about his future beyond football. Maybe it's okay for him to say, well, this school is offering, outside of football, a career with a big organization that apparently hires a lot of people from Oregon in Nike. I don't know what's so bad about that. I don't know what's so bad about somebody who wants to have a backup to football. I tell my students all the time, don't put all your eggs in sports. Take advantage of the Division I scholarship. Get your education. Tell them that all the time. So what's so wrong that he said that? That's what he said. If you really break down what he said, I didn't just go to win a national championship. I went for an education. I went for a future. Why do people have a problem with that? I don't get it. And I think he left because there's a very good chance that a team made it very clear we're going to take you. He knows he's going to get picked. Why should he risk injuring himself? Maybe he looked around and said, the other top guys aren't here. It looks bad that I'm here. I'm trying to work for people to believe in me. It's like I already proved it. People already believe in me. I'm wasting my time here now. So, I mean, we don't know. That's the thing is we don't know. If he drops down to 8 or 9 in the draft or 11 or 12 in the draft, if he was to drop that far in the draft, we'll know. Oh, okay. Obviously, he left without that. That wasn't the reason. He just decided to leave and he paid a price for it. It's going to cost him money. If he gets picked at 1, 2, 3, 4, we still might never know, but we can guess and say, okay, he knew he was getting picked. Well, if the Jags take an OL at 1, then that gives us a really good shot at getting Tibbs. Robinson, we tagged, and sources say that if we draft Ike, we are moving them to guard for a year. Yeah, I think a lot of people would be putting Icky at guard if they draft them for a year or so. But I don't. I just think they should get 2. Like I think they should like long-term Robinson, and then get a young guy and be set for the next 4 or 5 years. That's what that's my point. They just won't touch anything defensive outside of DL or Hutchinson, the unicorn, in the first 2 rounds. Salah and JD have pretty much said as much. Yeah, I kind of feel that, they did say at the end, trenches, right? I mean, I heard that too. We have to build in the trenches. The only point I'll make is it's not impossible to build in the trenches through free agency or the second round. It's the only thing I'll say. I think we want edge. I think universally everybody agrees. Every Jet fan, I think universally agrees that we need an edge. And those that are like saying no, take Sauce and then a wide receiver, I think that's the trap of why do we always talk ourselves out of getting an edge? We've done it for too long. We've got to stop doing that. Not that we have any impact on what JD does, but why do we want so bad to continue not to have an edge? When are we going to learn? Okay, we need an edge. We need an edge. You want to be a winning team. Look at the Super Bowl. You need an edge. You want to win big games. You need an edge. You have to pressure the quarterback. You don't just need an edge. You need an edge and a good edge. So you need like an elite edge or a very excellent top edge, and you need another really good edge, right? That's the whole point. It's not like we don't have anyone. We have Carl Lawson coming back. And someone could, people could argue, oh, JFM, but JFM, I think the reason we need an edge is because we so badly would benefit if we move JFM back to the inside. If we were planning on keeping JFM on the outside and Carl Lawson was coming back and then you had Huff as a backup, you might argue, well, we can sign like a Fowler or something and we're done. But I don't think we want to put JFM in the middle. I think we want to get a guy like Hutch or Tibbs if they're there, maybe Jermaine Johnson. We want to get a stud to be there with Carl Lawson, and we want Huff and Huff to be part of the rotation, right? And we may even sound like Fowler would be like a Curry if we didn't re-sign Curry. That's who he would be if we signed him. It wouldn't be the answer. We wouldn't be bringing in Fowler to be someone we expected to get double-digit sacks. We'd be bringing him in to be what Curry was supposed to be. Situational, play a lot less snaps. So you have because you don't have the motor to play 70, 80% of the snaps anymore. Play 20% of the snaps, 3rd and long, get in there, put some pressure on the quarterback. Nostradamus is throwing out hot takes. Am I Nostradamus or is it someone in there? Because I'm not throwing out any, I'm not making any predictions. But you're probably talking about someone else because I'm pretty known to be the guy that's not stuck on any one thing. I just think I'm saying that I'm going to be happy no matter what we do pretty much. I'm going to trust the system. Basically, that's what I'm the guy who is trusting JD, trusting the guy. Allen Robinson wants to come back and we're in his top 3 teams according to a close friend of him. Okay. You're saying come back to Jacksonville. Okay. Why would you want to leave Jacksonville? Don't you guys got a hot tub or a pool in the stadium? I think I see people sitting in a pool watching the game. I wouldn't want to leave that either. Sound better with no sound. I said, shut up, man. You're my brother. ETN, not a bad pick if you look at his tape. Everybody wants Sucks he got hurt. No, I don't think Etienne it sucks because he got hurt. I don't think Etienne is a bad running back. I really like Clemson and I really like Etienne. My problem is not with Etienne. My problem with is when you take a running back is a luxury pick. Aiden, it's a luxury to pick a running back. You're the Steelers, you can pick a running back. Okay, when you're 1-15, you don't pick a running back. You had a running back. You had one. You had a very good running back. Why would you use your 26th pick in the draft on another one? It doesn't make any sense. You should have taken a tackle or a guard. You build for your quarterback. You just picked Trevor Lawrence. Start building the wall. The running back comes at the end. You had a running back anyway. You get okay, third round, fourth round. Look what the Jets did. The Jets took Michael Carter. He looks like he might be a top 10 running back someday, possibly. He looked great. Take your running back in the third round or something nowadays. You don't need to pick a running back in the first round. It just doesn't make any sense. Sorry, that's how I feel. I think that Pittsburgh picking Harris was fine because they're a different organization, different situation. But you're a team that's on 1-15 with a million holes. The first few holes that you should build after you take your franchise quarterback is offensive line. That's it. Offensive line, unless you think the greatest wide receiver in the world is out there. And you think that'll be a great weapon for him. But like a game-changing weapon. But to me, Etienne was good, but not so much to the difference where you take him in the first round. Like if you're Jacksonville. That's my opinion. I like the guy. Don't misunderstand me. It's not his fault he got hurt. I like him. He's great. I'm a fan of Clemson. I watch Clemson all the time. I love college football. They're one of the teams I love to watch. So there's no doubting Etienne's talent. He's great. What's the big extra going to go down in your opinion? Man, what's the next big trade that's going to go down? That's hard because it's been so crazy, right? I mean, I think it's still going to, there's a chance that it's still going to be Deshaun Watson. I know a lot of people are saying, no one's going to want to trade for him, but someone always will. There's always somebody who will. I could see Carolina being in a trade, maybe a Christian McCaffrey and some picks for a quarterback. They might. I think that Jimmy G might be the next. San Francisco is going to find a trade partner for Jimmy G. So that I think that's a reasonable prediction. I'm trying to be like realistic and reasonable. Like what wouldn't surprise me, right? What wouldn't surprise anybody is if Jimmy G was traded. None of us are going to be surprised. It's pretty much something that's heavily expected, whether you agree with it or not. They made it kind of clear that Jimmy G is going to be on his way out. I'm trying to think other guys. McCaffrey for Carolina. I think that you might see New Orleans. The Saints try to trade some guys. For their cap issues. Cap problems. So you might see that happen. I think you might see the Giants trade Saquon Barkley. But I think it's going to be active. I think that we're only touching, like all the things we're already seeing happen. I think it's going to be very active. I think it's going to be very exciting and very hard to follow. Like it's going to be like tons of things happening, trades, free agency signings. It's going to be mayhem next week. I'm so glad I'm off from work. After I have Monday and Tuesday, I have work, but it's like no students. It's very low key. I'm so glad because I'm going to need to be ready because there's going to be so much going on. And it's going to get wild. Nothing surprises me anymore. I mean, after that Russell Wilson trade, nothing is going to be a shock after that. After that, I'm just like, everything is just taking it in stride. You think Watson's going to the Colts. Okay. As long as it's not Christian Watson. It's going to the Jets want Watson too. We better not. No, there's no way. That's what it is. It's a rumor. I promise you. I'll say this definitively. Very, very clearly, okay? We are not trading for Deshaun Watson. I could tell you that as if I was the president of the New York Jets. I am telling you that as someone who has dedicated the last 10 months to 12 months of their life looking at every move this guy Joe Douglas has made, listening to every press conference that he's been in, listening to Salah's every press conference he's been in, looking at the moves, looking at what he did in Philadelphia, looking at the like Joe Douglas and where he comes from and what his history is, and I am telling you with strong authority, okay? And if I'm wrong, then I'm a fool forever, and you could always say he's the guy that got it completely wrong. The Jets are not trading for Deshaun Watson. We're not going to try. Rumors might say we showed an interest. Okay. Do we pick up phones? Do we make phone calls? Do we feel things out all the time? Does that mean real interest? No, it doesn't. It really doesn't. It's not happening. Okay. These rumors are made up by people. Joe Douglas does not, unless it's on purpose, does not let things leak that are real. Okay. We're not going for Deshaun Watson. I'm not saying that because it's a safe thing to say and it probably won't happen and I'm gambling. I'm telling you with absolute confidence that I would be shocked if JD picked up the phone to even inquire. Maybe Houston calls him and he has a conversation, but that's not unheard of, and that doesn't mean we're really interested. That means that we're picking up the phone and listening to what they have to say. Okay, we drafted our quarterback. We have our quarterback. His name is Zach Wilson. We are going to live with him or we are going to die with him. We are not going to trade him. We are not going to bench him. We're going to live or die with him. Okay? Listen to what they said about him. They believe in this guy. They're not just saying it for the media. They're not full of crap. They love this kid. The players love this kid. They believe in this kid. He is our quarterback. So we don't have to even think about it. Deshaun Watson to Seattle. Yeah, he might be right, but the only problem with Watson going to Seattle is it's kind of a weird circle of how it happened. Like, let's trade, get all this draft capital, and then give it up and get Watson that way. Like, why didn't they just go directly to the source? Why didn't Seattle go right to Houston and just say, hey, unless Houston wanted no part of Russell Wilson and Russell Wilson wanted no part of Houston, I guess that would explain it. So we ship off Russell. We get tons of draft capital. We take the draft capital. We give it to Houston, and we take Watson. I think it's a risk. It's a risky proposition, but man, Seattle would be right back in the show, like in the featured as a contending team if they had Watson. I don't think nobody would argue that, but I don't know. It's a good take. It's a good take. I think Watson goes to the Panthers. They have draft capital. Yeah, I could see that. Hey, Braden, what's going on, my friend? Guys, I only got like 10 minutes left. So what I'm going to do is, because I called this Jets draft, what I'm going to do is I'll probably have to go on tonight because there's so much chat that I missed. So I think I'm going to have to come back on. I had no idea that there was this kind of demand for somebody live on a Friday, at 2:30 in the afternoon in California. I had no clue. Otherwise, I would have done this every week. Otherwise, actually, I'm usually at work by now. But hey, man, once the kids are gone, summer starts, I'll easily be able to be on. Ant Jets 82, what's up, buddy? Look at all these people that have come by. I didn't get to say hello to everybody. Stud City, what's going on, buddy? No, I don't think we're going for CMC, but I think he might be traded. Okay. Young Spaghetti finally made it in here. We know who you are. Father, I didn't know you were live. Nobody knew I was live, man. I just jumped on. But hey, even though I'm going, I'm not really going. Go over to Payo Time. Payo Time. P-A-Y-O-T-I-M-E. Payo Time. Payo Time is doing a mock draft. I'm going to be doing this draft, just not here. I'm going to be doing it on his channel while he does the Rams. So don't worry if you were wondering why we're not seeing a draft. You're going to see a draft. Dark Soldier, take care. If I missed you, I'm sorry. He had a run. It's funny how the Watson stuff comes out right out after Rodgers and Wilson announcements. Yeah, of course. Hey Snacks, didn't know you you were going on so early. Mess, I'll be jumping over to Payo Time real soon. So to do that draft. So the draft will happen. It's just going to happen somewhere else, guys. Yeah, but why does our year and character before he plays? We can never get a great leader. Well, I think we're going to have some great leaders. I think that's going to change. Not everybody has to be a leader, right? Carl Lawson is going to be a leader. Elijah Moore is going to be a leader. He's already a leader. Zach Wilson is going to be a leader. We're setting ourselves up. Every guy we draft, Michael Carter II, leader. Every guy we draft is a team captain. Every guy we're drafting is high character. We don't know that Tibbs doesn't have high character. That's just something people are saying. I think you had to be in the interview, but I'm going to trust JD. Have a good night, Y2K. Maybe I'll see you later when you're back from the gym, but definitely go to the gym. And people are leaving because you can feel that I'm leaving. Yeah. So hey guys, again, Payo time going on in 8 minutes, going on 7 p.m. Eastern. Hope to see you there. If you like his stuff, he's a good guy. Sub to his channel, support him, and I'll see you all over there. Hopefully, definitely say hello. Give me a shout out when you're over there. Let him know. Let him know that I'm bringing people over there to watch. Let him know. Okay, it's a good thing to do. Later, Matthew Cravat, person who has no motivation to watch and support me. That's personal at all. Nothing to do with it. You just love the content. I appreciate it. And I'll see you all later, and I'll leave you with, what will I leave you with? I'm going to leave you with this. Oh, I won't. I like Hutchinson the best, and I don't think Linderbaum is worth a top 10 pick. Thibodeau slipped, and I am going to grab Thibodeau. The Giants took Khalil Elam. Good for them. Kenyon Green is a guarantee in my mind. He would be such a dream pick right here. Evan Neal is still on the board. I'm not going to pick this now. That 44 pick could be tight end. That 44 pick could be a good linebacker, a good safety. We could drop back one pick and pick up a second rounder for New Orleans. We got options here.